What's up, guys? Welcome to Neek, which stands for Nerd/Geek, and I've been gone for a little while, and I missed a bunch of stuff. There's a bunch of movies and shows that I saw that I did not get to talk about on this channel, so I wanted an opportunity to do that. So I decided, every 4 months, for the year, at the 4 month, at April, at the end of August, and at the end of the year, I'll do sort of a catch-up with all the new releases in terms of movies and shows I've seen and talk about them and rank them and stuff. But this video was getting kind of long, so this is just going to be talking about the movies, and very soon my next video will be ranking all the TV shows that I've seen so far from this year. So, yeah, let's get into it. So yeah, I haven't seen everything. Some stuff I skipped on purpose, but there still are a couple movies that I do want to see. I just haven't had the chance to yet. But yeah, I'm going to talk about the movies I have seen. And I've seen 9 movies so far this year. And honestly, I've been able to see quite a few great ones. And so far, this year has been really good. After especially 2020, a lot of delays and other things, even though there were some really good movies that year. I really like all the movies in my top 10, I'd say at least, are really good. It was definitely not as amazing as most other years, but this year seems to be getting back on the right track, because after only 4 months, we already got a lot of stuff. Also, I'm going off US release date, so some things, and I don't include festivals, so movies like Minari, Nomadland, and The Father are here in my 2021 list. I don't include them in my 2020 list. But, yeah, let's get started. And coming in at last place, I can't actually really decide. I have 3 movies that are at my bottom, and I really don't know how to rank them. And I think all 3 of these movies are good. I've actually reviewed all of them on my channel, so I won't talk about much about my full opinions on the movies. If you want to know my more in-depth thoughts, you can check up there to see my reviews for all of them. And that is Raya and the Last Dragon, Godzilla vs. Kong, and Zack Snyder's Justice League. Now, I tend to mix my enjoyment along with the actual quality of the film, and of these 3 films, I think Godzilla vs. Kong is the one I enjoyed the most, but I also think it's the most flawed and the worst movie, so I don't really know where I should put it there. Zack Snyder's Justice League, I like it a little bit less than when I first saw it, but I still did enjoy it. I think it hit most of the notes it needed to, but didn't really amaze me in any way, but I'm still satisfied with it. So I think that would be my top one of those 3, because it didn't amaze me for many of the elements, but it didn't have as many elements that I flat out did not like. But there still were a couple things, but not anything major. And then Raya and the Last Dragon, it's a bit of a tough one for me, because there is a lot of really great stuff in there, but there's also quite a bit of stuff I wasn't really a fan of, and it didn't amaze me from anything. So if I were to rank them, it would look like this. Then we move up to number 6, and this is when we're getting into the really good category, because I really did like this movie and thought it was really good, and that is One Night in Miami. It does take a little while to get going, but once we get to the hotel and we have these 4 interesting characters all played really well, all 4 performances are great, that's when the movie really started working for me. I think what makes this movie really work is the characters. All of them have similar goals, but have different ways of trying to achieve them, which makes things very interesting. I like how this movie doesn't show one person as the right way to do things and the other person is the wrong way. They show the good and bad in everyone, which makes for some really interesting dynamics that are always changing. Someone will sort of have the power here, and then they'll call them out here, and it's really interesting how they do all the dynamics. They also give all 4 characters time in the spotlight, and by the time you get to the end of the movie, I really felt like I understood all 4 of these guys. Also, they're able to keep things like entertaining throughout. Like they're in minimal locations and stuff, and it's just a bunch of dudes talking, but I actually was entertained throughout the entire time except the beginning. This movie doesn't really have anything else going besides the writing and performances, which are great. So I can't put it higher than any of the films above it, because those also have like great writing, performances, and they're able to do things on the same level or better with also like great directing and visuals and all that sort of thing. So I can't put it over those, but I don't think it needs more to still be considered a really good movie, because that's what I was going for. It was trying to focus on the writing and the performances, and they really nailed that element. So yeah. Then we're getting into the top 5, and honestly, this top 5 is really strong. Like, if this was my top 5 at the end of the year, that'd be a pretty satisfying year, and we're only 4 months in. So coming in at number 5 is The Mitchells vs. the Machines. So Phil Lord and Chris Miller have sort of became their own sort of brand within animation, and I've actually really been a big fan of lots of their stuff. They've like directed the Lego movie, including The Chance of Meatballs, and then had like big producer roles on like the other Lego movies like Lego Batman, Lego 2, Into the Spider-Verse and stuff, and I've really liked all of those. Into the Spider-Verse is in my top 3 animated movies. Absolutely love that movie. Also just love the Lego movie. It's just a hilarious, awesome movie. And I also really love the Lego Batman movie. It's actually like number 2 on my Batman list, only behind The Dark Knight. So even though I'm a really big fan of lots of these movies that they've made, for some reason I wasn't looking that forward to it. The trailer just didn't really get me, but I'm still gonna check it out because it's from them, and I ended up actually really liking it. Ended up exceeding my expectations from what I thought, and while I don't think it's as good as those 3 other ones I mentioned, it definitely is a great movie. And like all Phil Lord and Christopher Miller animated movies, this has great, interesting, unique animation, just a lot of creativity throughout in the way, the style, and the story, and it's really funny. Throughout the time, I definitely was laughing quite a bit. It didn't have that many like hilarious, just like completely laughing out loud, but I enjoyed all the jokes here. The characters are also really nice. They're all really fleshed out, and you care about every member of this family, and I like all the dynamics between them. Obviously, the focus is on the daughter-dad relationship, but all the different relationships you get are all really good. It's just a really sweet movie with some nice messages. It's just a really fun time that really nails everything it needs to. So I definitely would recommend checking this movie out if you haven't. Coming in at number 4 is Nomadland. The Best Picture winner has actually grown on me a little bit since I've watched it. I already thought it was a really good movie, but now I'm like, this is a great movie, and I can totally see why this won Best Picture, even though it wouldn't be my personal choice. I think the directing from Chloe Zhao is just really well done. To be able to make this sort of story and like this sort of feel like works so well is really impressive. Also, none of the actors between like the main 2 were like actual actors. They were just actual like nomads and other people. And the way she was able to get great performances from just average people is also really impressive. Frances McDormand delivers a really great performance. The cinematography is really amazing. There's just so many like beautiful shots. The story is really interesting. It's a story we never really seen before and stuff. And I really like this sort of style with it, because I think the story works with a more sort of almost documentary style. So yeah, this is just a really well put together and really nails lots of the aspects. And I am now really excited to see what Chloe Zhao is going to do with Eternals. Coming in at number 3 is Judas vs. the Black Messiah. A really interesting and emotional story driven by 2 amazing performances with Lakeith Stanfield and Daniel Kaluuya. It is written well, directed well, shot well, and obviously the performances are amazing. My favorite scene in the movie, you just get to see everything come together so well, all those elements I missed, and that is the I am a revolutionary scene. Like, I just literally kept repeating that line in my head after the day I watched it. It's just such a powerful, well done scene, and the acting by Daniel Kaluuya is just insane. Yeah, I really liked this movie. I thought it was a really great movie, and deserved the award stuff it got. Coming in at number 2 is The Father. It's just an amazing film. Such a well put together film, like from the writing, editing, production design, and Anthony Hopkins' performance, work in a way to make this movie like frustrating, but at the same time such a fluid movie. Every scene sort of has a purpose, does interesting things. It's just a crazy, like, wild watch. Even though it's just a guy in his apartment throughout the entire time, it's able to like draw out a lot of like, whoa, what is going on, and like mess with your mind. It actually reminded me a lot of Memento, which is a movie I love, and I love movies that find unique ways to tell their stories, but it makes sense why they do it. You feel so much for Anthony because of the way it's told. I think this movie wouldn't work if it wasn't told this way, and it works so well because it's told this way, and it really gets me in the head of this character and makes me feel for people who have dementia and stuff. So yeah, just an amazing film. But coming in at number 1 is Minari, and I do think this is really close with The Father, but I did prefer Minari. I already did a review on it. Check it out over there. So I'm not going to go too much in depth, but it's just such a real, well done movie with great performances, great humor, great cinematography, great music, great directing, great writing, great characters, great, just everything was just so well done. It's made me feel very emotional. I was very connected. I really enjoyed my entire time watching it. Just go check out this movie if you have not. So yeah, that is my ranking for all the 2021 movies I've seen so far. Comment down below, what are your favorite movies of the year so far? What are your least favorites? All that fun stuff. Be on the lookout for my ranking of all the TV seasons I've seen so far this year. Please like and subscribe, and keep watching Nick.